Sometimes the most painful manipulation is not shouting, not insults, not anger. It's silence. Cold, calculated silence. One day someone talks to you normally. The next day they act like you don't exist. No explanation, no communication, just emotional distance. And suddenly you find yourself overthinking everything. What did I do wrong? Why are they acting like this? Should I apologize? That's the terrifying power of the silent treatment. Because silence, when used strategically, becomes psychological control. And most people never realize they are being manipulated until the damage is already done. Why silence feels so painful? Human beings are psychologically wired for connection. So when someone suddenly withdraws communication, your brain interprets it as emotional danger. This creates anxiety, confusion, and emotional instability. That's why the silent treatment feels so heavy. You are not just being ignored. You are being psychologically disconnected. And toxic people understand this deeply. In dark psychology, silence is often used as a form of emotional punishment. Instead of expressing anger directly, they remove attention, affection, and emotional access. And slowly, you become desperate to fix the situation. Even when you did nothing wrong, the real goal of silent treatment. Most people think silent treatment is about being upset. Sometimes it is, but toxic silent treatment has a different purpose: control. The manipulator wants you emotionally anxious enough to chase them, because the moment you begin begging for communication, they regain power over the relationship. This is called emotional dominance. Notice the pattern. They disappear emotionally. You panic. You overthink. You apologize. You chase. And suddenly, the person who caused the emotional damage becomes the one receiving emotional validation. That is psychological manipulation. The most dangerous effect. The scariest part about silent treatment is what it does to your self-worth. Over time, you start training yourself to avoid upsetting the person. You become careful with your words, careful with your opinions, careful with your emotions, not because of respect, but because you fear emotional abandonment. This creates emotional dependency. And once someone controls your emotional peace, they silently control you. Here's the truth most people ignore. Healthy communication solves problems. Manipulative silence creates them. Real maturity communicates discomfort. Toxic manipulation uses silence to create fear, guilt, and emotional confusion. So the next time someone constantly uses silence to punish, control, or emotionally weaken you, understand this clearly. Silence is not always peace. Sometimes silence is a weapon. Help this channel grow by liking, sharing, and subscribing to it.